Puja, do you turn people into millionaires, billionaires, or you just make them cry in their office? They would lean and they would ask me, are you a cheerleader or just a truth teller? They would unpack and they would feel that I might just deep dive into their childhood anxieties. Well, I'm not here today to unpack your childhood anxieties, to help you with 12-step success formula. I'm here today to speak, to remind you of something simple yet very powerful. Perhaps something which you have forgotten or you have not even realized. True leadership, which I believe it starts with you right now, this moment. I would request all of you to close your eyes. When I say the word CEO, what do you see? A sharp business suit, meetings, presentations, discussions. Please open your eyes. What if I were to tell you that you are the CEO of not of an organization, not of a startup, but something far, far important of your life? Let me say that again. You are the Chief Energy Officer of your life. Having said that, what does it mean to be a Chief Energy Officer of your life? It is being intentional about your energy. It is aligning your energy, the internal and the external energy. Having said that, now I would want to tell you that I was once working with a CEO, an accomplished CEO. His title read CEO, but he didn't feel so. He was not alone. There was another lady with 20 years of rich experience, sitting in a room full of awards, didn't feel that she belonged in there. It was not that they lacked skill. It was not that the board didn't approve of them. It was their voice in the head was much, much louder than the truth in their heart. I looked at them and I asked them, tell me something. If your inner voice was a person, would you hire him or her to coach you? They looked at me, they smiled, they laughed, their eyes welled up and the tears started rolling, because in that moment they had realized that they had fired the mentor in them. They had fired the champion in them and promoted the fear. And we need not be the CEO or be in the boardroom to feel so. We can be feeling so in every role you play in your life. As a sibling, as a partner, as a parent, as a child. In every role you play. Externally, you may be holding it all strong. Internally, drowning each day, being haunted by the questions, am I good enough? Am I doing it all? And research proves that. There have been various researchers which highlight and emphasize that human beings, they lean more towards the negative thoughts, and we replay those negative thoughts in our head. While that was all about the internal energy, but how about the external energy? The external energy here, I refer to the people around us. They can either shape us or sink us. On this note, let me introduce you to the 6th guest in the boardroom. The first one is the broadcaster. Your life stories are their centerpiece, table gossip. Insurance. They would keep the lines warm so that they can lean onto you whenever they need it. Then you have the spotlight stealer. They would cheer in for you until you outshine them. Energy vampire. You speak to them for 2 hours and you are emotionally on an emotional hangover for 2 days. Then you have mirror, mirror. They are the anchor. They are the North Star. They are the brutally honest. They are the person who would tell you spinach in your teeth style. Then you have legacy builder. These are the people who are required. No invoice needed. They are just present honestly for you, cheering up for you, so that you can achieve your dreams. When I speak about internal energy, the one gap what we need to bridge in is the gap of the potential and the permission we believe we have in. No perfect curated profile, title, applause would ever feel enough until the truth in your heart is aligned. The guest whom I introduced you, they may sometime uplift your energy and sometime drain your battery even before you have had a cup of your coffee. These people can actually drain you out. But being a CEO of your life is when you take charge and when you decide in who would be in your boardroom, when you are in charge of your energy, when you budget in your energy. Now that I have demystified one of the C-suite, let me move in to the another commonly C-suite, CIO. Well, I'm not referring here to the data, not to the information, technology, nothing to do with that. CIO is the Chief Influence Officer. Whether you like it or you don't like it, you are always influencing, be it as a speaker or be it in a sweatsuit. Influencing is very important. It comes in from the word influre, which means just to flow in. No title, no script, not being the loudest one in the room, but just being authentic you. That's influence. And we all actually influence every moment. It is contagious. Let's do something together. Look at the person sitting next to you. Smile, nod, give a thumbs up. What do you see? Do you see a reciprocation? Yes, that's influence in life and motion. There have been various studies which prove that influencing is so important. Studies by Ginger and Folkman, wherein they studied around 50,000 leaders and they found that influencing is a skill which actually differentiates the leader who are good and the leader who are extraordinary. The leaders who exercise influence, they see that their employees, the team members, operate in from high team engagement, motivation, and they just don't operate in from agreement, but being inspired, being devoted. Influencing is not only important in the corporate life, it's important even in our personal life. Dr. John Gottman, he did a beautiful study wherein he found that the couples who exercise influence, who let the influence flow in the life, are the people who actually thrive in their relationship. Now that we have understood that influence is so important, but how do we exercise influence? How can we actually practice in our day-to-day life? Let me introduce you to the PEAK framework. P-E-A-K. P being present, seeing the person, honoring the person. E is elevating the energy. When you walk in, you actually carry in the energy. People forget what you said, but they would not forget how you made them feel. Influence is actually It is not what you said, but who you are when you say that. A is aligning your thoughts and actions. K is being kindness and knowing. Just imagine you know someone, but you don't exhibit kindness. You don't exhibit that empathy. Then it is called as manipulation, not influence. A kindness with knowing, coupled with empathy, is actually influence. So when you exercise influence through the peak framework, that's when you start transforming. I want to ask all of you two final questions here. Tell me, how many of you here would like to stay in a house wherein you are continuously looked down, judged, criticized? None of us, right? But that's what we do to ourselves each day, every moment. Just imagine if you're going to operate in from an energy which your soul truly needs, cancelling the outer noise and just listening to your heart. What would shift in your relationship, in your personal life, in everything what you do? So what happens when you become a CEO and the CIO of your life? CEO is the powerhouse and CIO is the transmission of that energy. You can't lead if you are completely drained out. You can't lead if you are lying. I have led by the mantra that lead with energy, move with intention, influence with integrity, because your life is the most important enterprise which you would ever lead. Being the CEO and the CIO of your life is when you activate the compass, activate your inner compass and activate the access to the C-suite. So when you become the CEO, the Chief Energy Officer and the Chief Influence Officer, that's the beginning of new you, wherein you start transforming everything around you, wherein you start building a new legacy in every role you play, which your future self will thank you for. Thank you so much.